Controversial Toys Part 2. We've rounded up 3 of the biggest perpetrators of controversy in the action figure world.
So 3 bad boys, let's do this.
Well, actually, one's a girl.
And one's a baby.
People loved most controversial toys. That's going to be one of our most popular episodes ever.
Sure.
So it only makes sense. We come back, we talk about 3 more.
More controversial toys.
What do you guys want to do first?
Let's go with Crash Test Dummies.
Crash Test Dummies.
You remember him?
Real quickly, there was the toy line, and I remember when the show was around, and this is like one of the first like 3D character cartoons. The character design scared me, and I had to turn it off.
But do you remember it wasn't a CGI cartoon at first? It was like interstitials on Saturday morning.
Of course, yeah, just all the crash tests, and then just like flopping like in the driver's seat and stuff like that.
I don't remember any of that.
Are you kidding me? Like,
No.
wait,
It was very popular.
All right, let's just give this to Cade. Like, you don't recognize that face?
No,
And all
like
the stickers on it?
no, I don't at all. Like the Incredible Crash Dummies is what it's called.
It was like, all right, I need help, and then like literally they would just fall apart. Like, I need to get my leg over there. But again, it was just incredibly frightening.
I don't remember.
Very scary.
Yeah. Hey man, it was the early 90s, man. A
I don't
lot
remember
of
it.
crazy stuff went down.
Yeah, a lot, and especially for toys. Like, they got away with making toys in the 90s that are just like obscene today. Like, spring loaded, forget about it.
Yeah.
And what do we have here?
That is my favorite toy line. Spring loaded, forget about it.
Spring loaded, forget about it.
So the toy line itself was pretty pedestrian, using a little motorist pun.
Okay.
But they caught flack for 2 sets. One was the baby,
Right.
which if you think about it, it's not really a great play pattern to have a little child being endangered, although you could argue these are robots or non-sentient life
There's
forms.
something weird, yeah.
They kind of get a pass for that, but they also had a dog and cat, which had tire marks on it, like they'd been run over.
Oh my god.
Where's PETA? if PETA can nail, Mario 3 for Tanuki suit,
Yeah.
they would nail, Crash Test Dummies.
You're talking about PETA from Hunger Games.
No,
Correct.
no.
Oh, not familiar.
Doesn't
But
make sense.
if it gets people to wear a seatbelt or be a little more conscientious, who are we to judge?
I guess so. I just don't understand why you would make a toy of this. Who would want this? I just like that the baby's giving a thumbs up, right?
Yeah, I mean,
That's an obscene gesture in certain Swahili tribes.
Oh, yeah.
what do you guys think? Is this controversial? Parents in Florida would be outraged to have this.
Specifically.
Florida moms, weigh in our comments.
Yeah, please.
PSA, turn to a cartoon, turn to a toy line. Crash Dummies.
Let us know what you think.
Next up, Django!
Django!
Alright, so
Django.
if you guys haven't seen Django, Django is a movie by Quentin Tarantino.
No, Django is Boba Fett's dad.
That's right,
Oh,
Django
right,
Fett.
right.
Basically, Django Unchained, got a lot of flack for being in theaters because of the excessive use of the N-word. It did well in theaters, as a Western film, and then this toy line came out by NECA.
So what we have here is the Leonardo DiCaprio figure.
Monsieur Candy.
Yeah,
Candy, yeah.
Mr. Candy.
This also holds a distinction because I believe it's the only Leonardo DiCaprio action figure ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
That's very controversial.
I think also, knowing that Leo was such an enormous fan of 8-inch Mego figures back in the day, I happen to know his toy dealer.
Really?
Yeah.
He probably signed on and gave his likeness just so that
Cool.
he could have an action figure that's in scale with all of his collectibles.
That's cool. That's really cool.
That's pure conjecture, by the way.
Okay.
So NECA does a lot of the figures in this scale, and they do a great job with using real cloth, but again, it got recalled.
There was a massive protest over these figures. They claimed that it glorified slavery, and these were pulled from store shelves.
Right.
Whole shipments were canceled.
Crazy.
Goods were destroyed. They're very hard to come by. They go for a couple $100, upwards of $1,000
They're
each.
super rare.
It's insane.
I mean, if you were just dying for that, Titanic Jack Dawson.
Well, now you have my attention.
I mean, it's amazing that you got your hands on this. I mean, it must have caught a fair price on the eBay,
I did some
guess.
sex stuff with some guys.
He had to
That's terrible.
meet someone on a southern plantain to discuss business.
Yes, on a starchy banana type fruit.
Yeah.
On the plantation.
And then they bartered out a deal for this particular figure,
Yeah.
and then he was excused from the room, and he spoke to his butler for a little bit,
And then
came
Don
back out,
Johnson called me the N-word.
yeah, and then he was forced to buy the entire set.
So, I mean, is this set worth having? I mean, I think it's more of a collector kind of thing at this point.
I would definitely say I felt a little deflated opening this up. It's it's not a cutting edge action figure by any stretch.
Sure.
He doesn't include a gun. He doesn't have a hammer. Unless you're really into Leonardo DiCaprio, I don't know that you have to own this.
Right.
I'm happy to have it. It'll look great in my display case.
Right.
But is it a necessity? Nah, I don't think so.
You know, I think the toy is actually like less controversial than the movie, right? I mean, it's the same thing.
And also because of the movie, it just, just kind of piggybacked onto that, and it's like, this is also controversial, and any other merchandise for Django is controversial.
So that's a good question for our fans to leave in the comments. Do you think the recall of these toys was just, or were people overreacting and pulling a whole Florida Mom's routine?
It's a good question. We'd like to hear your opinion.
Moving on, NECA are on our list yet again. These guys must be secret perverts or something.
I guess so. What do we have here?
So their Castlevania line, which I thought was a great line.
This is a succubus.
I mean, she's pretty controversial as it is. I don't know how much thong underwear vampires were wearing back in the Victorian age. Just with their clothes on.
Right.
This is a spicy meatball, my friends.
Yeah.
But, little known secret, much like the Queen Gorgo from 300, the top can be removed.
Oh my god! And I mean, we're
Don't
shielding you.
Do not show the audience.
Do you want to see? I don't know. I think I might have slipped in a nip slip in the previous episode.
It was an accident.
It was total accident. But yeah, there's
right there.
I see.
there are sculpted nipples.
I see.
And they have paint apps.
They have, yep.
And this is actually like almost like the second issue of this figure.
So I had these figures when they first came out, and the bustier top slipped off very easily.
Okay.
After this one took like, an X-Acto knife, a box cutter,
Yeah.
a
And it's a
flamethrower.
screwdriver.
Yeah.
Flamethrower.
And you can see, they're using a much heavier style of glue on here.
Okay.
And holding it in place.
Right.
Yeah.
And so,
Right where are they holding in
Yeah.
place? Like here. Okay.
we got a little nudity here, guys,
Yeah.
and it's making me uncomfortable.
So,
So yeah, in our previous episode, we mentioned the 300 action figure, and having sculpted nipples. It's very strange, especially if it's just going to be covered up with a second piece of plastic.
Right.
Free the nipple, if guys can do it, why can't, like action figures of guys, like WW
wrestlers.
It's got,
Yeah,
they got nipples.
totally. So this is definitely like a controversial toy in some form because it's based on a video game. Granted, that video game is kind of geared towards a mature audience, so maybe they were trying to sell this and market it towards an older audience anyways.
It could be, but I don't want my kids to go and open up a bustier and I gotta explain to kids what nipples are.
Or what this is? I have never seen this in my life.
All controversy aside, it's a great sculpt. It's a really nice figure. Castlevania is an awesome toy line. It would be nice, to see that come back into the limelight in action figure form.
Yeah.
Now that she's sucked our life force away, let's take a fan question.
Instagram user Yotam_Otto asks us a fan question. He says, "Where do you store your toys after you feature them on the show?"
Here, lift it up.
In the dumpster.
Banker's boxes.
We've got this big box right here.
There's a constant stream of toys coming and going to and from Frederator. Typically, we leave them here for about a week or two so we can shoot additional B-roll. Then they go back to the respective owner's house.
Right.
If it's mine, they're either going to sit in a plastic bin, or if they're a really good piece like Monsieur can be,
Right.
they're going to go in the display case.
Glass display case, which you have lots of pictures of and you're constantly kind of changing up every now and then.
Yeah, and if you look closely at all of my display case pictures, the reflection will reveal I'm nude.
That's controversial.
That is controversial. Maybe actually now,
It's
Nicky,
intentional.
you've shown a couple of pictures from your personal toy collection on your Instagram account,
Which are not
and
scrolling on
on
screen
Toy
right
Pizza as well. But you have a nice toy setup. You've got two toy shelves, I believe, and then around your TV you have a nice little setup. So
We should show a time lapse of the past year for how much space toys have invaded in Nicky's life.
yeah, I mean that's where you keep your toys.
I mean, my rule of thumb is that if it's not going to be displayed, like I don't want to keep it in box and store it somewhere. I want to display it. So with packaging aside, if I toss some of that out, like there has to be shelf space before I purchase a new toy. Otherwise, I'm not going to buy it.
I've kind of taken a bookmark, I guess you say, out of Nicky's book, a page out of Nicky's book. I put them around my TV, kind of make it nice there. I have a Zelda shelf that is dedicated to Link action figures, and my desk is just covered in toys.
Yeah.
It's just covered in toys. I mean,
it's funny how it corrupted you two in the past year.
Definitely. I am essentially a toy collector at this point. It's kind of crazy.
Well, that was a great fan question. This was a great episode. Let us know if we missed any controversial toys. We need more ammo for the next.
Yeah, we'd love to do a part 3
iterations.
with your recommendations. Yeah,
for sure.
That's it for Controversial Toys. Subscribe for the next controversial episode, and be sure to use the hashtag ToyPizza and share us all your toy photos. Until next time, pizza out.
Pizza out.
I'm tired of all these Jangos. I'm a plane.